right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. You know what time it is. It's Women's Empowerment Week continuing right here. Noland Coaching. And we are bringing on one powerhouse woman after the next. It doesn't stop. As a matter of fact, we've got so much feedback, so many people that are reaching out that are so interested in what we're doing, and all these women who are going, listen, I'm digging this. I'm loving what I'm hearing here. You know, some real men working with real women. They're not afraid to come together and empower each other. And the focus this week is on women's empowerment. Why? It needs to be a focus. And I've got a powerhouse guest coming up right now. Her name is Tristan Towns, and I have been blown away by what I've seen this powerhouse woman do during one of the most trying times in the history of the earth. We're not talking about in the past year or two. 2020 has been nuts. And Tristan has had to go through one challenge after the next. But Tristan, you didn't back down. You leaned into it. Would you please tell people a little bit about your background? Tell them a little bit about your story. And let's get into this interview with Tristan Towns. Good to have you, Tristan.
All right, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to have me on here, and so thank you. I really want to thank you for that. So a little bit of my background. I actually have a degree in early childhood education, and I have a master's in reading. So straight from college, I actually went into teaching in a classroom. So I taught second grade for about 8 years. Absolutely loved teaching, but from there, I was doing some growth, myself, my husband, and I. And so we decided that we wanted to focus a little bit more on our goals as entrepreneurs. And so I left the classroom in about 2019 and, kind of dabbling in some other things. And then, of course, like you just mentioned, this year has been very challenging. And so, it's kind of caused me to kind of shift a little bit of what I was doing. And so I actually this past year started teaching online. So I kind of went back to doing some more teaching, which is something that I'm very passionate about. So I started teaching online. My husband and I started a YouTube channel as well for children. And then now I am a published author. So that's a little bit about my history.
This is awesome. Okay, now, first and foremost, I've been able to kind of watch you guys do some of this because, and Lena and I having a son, having a 5-year-old, we were very intrigued by online, when all these kids had to come out of the physical classroom and get online. You embrace that as an opportunity. Now, Tristan, there's a lot of women out there wondering, what can I do? What can I make happen? You literally took this from a thought and you made it a thing, and you brought this to life, and you launched an online business. Now, what type of people have reached out? What kind of experiences have been? What demographics have come to you since you took that leap of faith and jumped out there?
Yeah, so I've actually, had the privilege. I have gotten to connect with so many people, and I actually am teaching children from all over the world, which has been such a blessing. I'm actually learning so much from the children that I'm teaching and connecting with, and getting to talk to them about literature, about books, and kind of diving deep into deep conversations with children about that. And so, it's really grown me as a teacher, as an educator. And then just connecting with, I've gotten opportunities to connect with a lot of different authors as well through our Storytime channel. And so that's been a huge opportunity for me as well.
And this is what's crazy. When you go online, you're not just, encompassed to your little demographic of your town. What's some of the different regions around the world that has reached out and got involved with you teaching online? Do you have some different parts of the world?
That like in, let's see, South Korea. I've had students in South Korea, so different parts of Asia, honestly. We've had, students from all over the US and Canada. So those are kind of been some of the biggest demographics that I've kind of connected with, and so that's
So
been
you're in the
really cool.
USA, and all the way on the other side of the world, over in Asia, people
Mhm.
wanting to learn from you. So you would
Mhm.
think, okay, is there like a language barrier, or is it that they're taking advantage of? Hey, we'd like to learn more about English. Is that what's happening with that?
Yeah, a lot of them that I'm working with, they speak English, um, already. But some of them, I have had classes with some students. I've had classes with students in South or in Mexico, and different regions, and they actually are wanting to better their English as well. And so like a lot of my classes are reading classes, and they're discussion based classes, and so not only are they connecting with me, but they're also getting opportunity to connect with several other kids from around the country.
All
And so we're
right.
all talking together and working as a team together. So
All right,
that's
so
been really good.
hot subject, because there's
Hmm.
so much division going on, and all this racial stuff happening. But your
Hmm.
platform, you see it as an opportunity to break down a lot of this division and bring these kids together to where they can embrace their differences. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Helping kids to see that, we're we're all alike. We have a lot more in common than I think a lot of people realize, and we can learn from one another. And so that's just been really cool for me to be able to facilitate these conversations, around books that I love, and having these kids from no matter where they're from, no matter what their background is, be able to talk together and be able to teach them all.
Okay, so you were teaching in the school system. You said 8+
Mhm.
years.
Yes.
All right, second grader. So everybody knows what's happening there. You got the attention spans probably all over the place. But now you go, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to take this teaching online. I'm going to teach people from all over the world, and I'm going to get that business going. And then I saw that you were able to also start working with your sister, another powerhouse woman. Tell us a little bit about how that came together.
Yes. So that actually, I kind of have to backtrack a little bit to our YouTube channel. So, during this challenging time, everybody's trying to figure out, this new way of life, I guess you could say it that way. And I feel like you have two options, right? You can, when you're going through challenges, you can either, feel sorry for yourself, or kind of get depressed and down about things, or you can take this as an opportunity to grow, to do something positive. And so for myself, and for like my husband actually was a huge supporter, a huge encourager for me as we're looking at everything happening in the world, or as we're seeing so many people trying to figure out, like, how do we do schooling at home and all of that. I was having a conversation with my husband about if we had children at the house at that point, like what I would do as a teacher, taking my background and what I would do, some tips I would give. And he was like, I think you should just create a video, and I think you should take your knowledge of reading, and let's just create a video or put it on YouTube, and let's see if we can help people. And I, of course, at first I was like, absolutely not. I don't like to be I don't like to be on camera. That was my original thought. And so I told him no. He kind of kept encouraging me with this. And sometimes you just kind of have that in your head, when somebody's encouraging you to do something that's challenging, right? That causes you to grow. And so, I was like, okay, let's just we'll do one video and we'll see how this goes. And we got a lot of great feedback from that. A lot of people saying how much that helped them. And the other cool thing about that was, as well as my nephews, got a chance to, they get a chance to watch their Aunt Tristan read aloud stories to them. And so from
Right.
there, yeah. And so from there, I was connecting with a bunch of authors. So I, work with a lot of self-published authors. And a lot of times they send me their books, and, I'm just talking with them and connecting with them. And from there, I started thinking, like, I've always wanted to write a book. I've always loved reading. Reading has always been important in my life. And so I started kind of wondering, like, what is that process of writing a book, of self-publishing? It kind of seems a little bit intimidating, but I was just, as I'm connecting with other authors and kind of talking to them about it. And then it was in June, seeing all of this division that was happening in our world, and this idea, came to my mind of a story, of a book that I felt like would be very encouraging for others. And, one of my favorite quotes is, if you don't see the book you want, write it.
Wow.
And so,
Awesome.
yeah. And so I was like, God had these words, these ideas come to my mind. And then I reached out to my sister. My sister, she's a mother. She has a background with working with kids. She's worked with kids from all kinds of different backgrounds. She actually has a degree in social work and has been a caseworker. So her and I took our backgrounds with working with kids, and we collaborated together and created this book that we felt like would be something that would maybe uplift people. We wanted something that would help kids, have confidence, but also be able to see themselves represented in the book. And so that's kind of how that came about.
This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I like to say it all the time. That's what I'm saying. See, in all the chaos, you got two routes. You can cave in or you can lean in. And what I saw you do with your sister is you got creative. You saw the chaos and then you said, I'm going to give into creativity. So turn the chaos into creativity. Turn the chaos into opportunity. How can you serve and help other people? I've seen this with my own eyes watching what you guys have done. Now, Tristan, you talked about a YouTube channel and you talked about a book. First of all, how do people get to your YouTube channel?
So it's Story Time with Tristan. So it's Story Time is one word, with Tristan. So they can just, look me up on there. I also have, my sister and I also have a Facebook page and an Instagram page called Sisters Book Corner. And so there's links on there as well that you can, click on and connect to. So that's how you can get on my YouTube channel, Story
So they
Time
go
with
over to
Tristan.
YouTube. They go over to YouTube and they type in Story Time with Tristan.
Yes.
All right. So just go to youtube.com, type in Story Time with Tristan, and everybody should be subscribing. If you got kids, there's a bunch of kids out there, a bunch of parents, you want them encouraged. I've seen this. A lot of us have watched what Tristan's done and her sister from nothing. Just from you heard what she said. She said she didn't want to talk. And I tell people all the time, your greatness is stuck in your throat. You open your mouth, you're going to watch the greatness come out, and you're going to be so proud of yourself. And so, Tristan, then you went ahead and got inspired enough. You said, I'm going to write a book. Had you ever wrote a book before?
No.
Now,
I didn't know anything.
Happened, do you have a copy of that book by
I
you
do.
anywhere?
I do.
All right, show everybody the book. Okay, so that book, what didn't exist anywhere a year ago, did you even think that book was going to be there?
No idea. This was not even, no.
All right, so tell us about this book because you've been selling them like crazy. It's been climbing up the Amazon charts. Tell everybody about it.
So our book, like I just showed here, it's called I Am Me. And this is a book that we feel is for everyone. We intend it for kids, but we really feel like this book is for everyone. This is a book to help kids embrace their uniqueness, celebrate their differences, have positive affirmations. This is where we hope to have a confidence building book for children. You're going to see children from all kinds of backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, different abilities. And so this is just a book that our goal is for as many people as possible to see themselves represented in this book, in either the pictures, the words, in some way, have some kind of connection to our book.
Y'all got to share this, by the way. Y'all should be hitting on the social media channels. Everybody needs to find 5 people that you tag on this and say, look, here's a powerhouse woman. Didn't even know she's going to be an author. Didn't even think about being an entrepreneur. The world's going crazy. And all of a sudden, she starts creating a successful home-based business. She starts becoming a successful author. And she's getting the word out there. Can y'all do us a favor? How are y'all feeling about Tristan? If you're over on the chat boards, everybody give Tristan some feedback. How are you feeling about this information? Is this helping anybody? Is it encouraging anybody? You ladies, are you feeling empowered? So Tristan, I believe energy is everything, and I've talked to you about that long time ago. And I know that you and your husband, y'all have been talking about a family. And we were putting that out there in the universe about pulling all these things together. Now, Tristan, all this energy, now you got entrepreneur, wasn't there. Now it's happening. Author wasn't there, now here. All of a sudden, kids. Not there, but what is in your belly right now? Tell everybody about that story.
I have a little one. My husband and I, we are 20 weeks pregnant. And so we have a little one that is going to be due in April. So we're very excited about that.
Wow, this right here is what I'm talking about. Y'all seeing what's happening? See, I believe it's an energy transformation. I can remember, when one of the first times I met Tristan, I'm talking about when she says, I can't imagine me being on camera. She was very shy. So, Tristan, this coaching platform you see me doing where I'm talking about confidence is everything. And if you get your confidence straight and you're going to be empowered, what would you say to people about participating in the Jay Noland coaching platform and what I'm bringing to the table to the world to uplift? What would you personally say about it?
I mean, for me, it has been life-changing. I think I started going to some of your coaching, started, I guess going to your trainings and everything. I think it was in 2017, and it has completely changed my mindset, completely changed everything for me. I think a lot of people, a lot of times their first reaction of me is that I'm shy, and I this voice that I have found has always been inside me. And so since going to your trainings, I have found tools to help me to unlock, right? And to bring that voice out. And so the trainings to me are an absolute must. It's just complete. I don't think I would have done any of this if it wasn't for the training that I have received from you, the mentorship, the coaching that I have received from you. So it's completely changed everything for me.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like before everything starts, we're like family. We come together, we embrace each other. That's the beautiful part about people as we come together from all over the world, all backgrounds. We just want people to feel empowered. And that's why when I see Tristan doing what she's doing, I'm talking about off on her own. She's gone. That's what I love about what my mentality is me bringing greatness into people and watch you fly, watch you blossom. Tristan, are there any messages you have? This is Women's Empowerment Week. Are there any direct messages you have for the ladies out there that might give them that extra boost, that extra encouragement? What could you say to women they might have been going through a tough time with all this quarantine and all this division? What could you say?
For me, you have to believe in yourself, right? You have to find your why. Like for me, going through like this year has been the most challenging year for me. I mean, just completely being completely raw with that. And finding the why to just keep that drive going, to keep that push going. And I would say plug into these trainings. Like you need this training. It's going to help you to unlock your voice too. It's going to help you to find that confidence that you need. And there's been two big takeaways that I really want to focus in on. That's really helped me to build my confidence, to help me to be able to create this YouTube channel, to be able to become an author. And those two takeaways that there's a lot that I've gotten from your training, but two big takeaways would be not worrying about other people's opinions and not letting your past define you, affect you, stop you from things. And I think that's easy for me to say, but I want to give some tips into how. So, one thing I've learned from your trainings is about other people's opinions, right? And how, I think a lot of times people, they worry so much about what other people think, right? And that stops them from going after their dreams, from putting themselves out there, from, letting their voice be heard. And so one thing that's helped me is, when I've gone to your trainings, it's first of all, having that training, right? Having those positive words every single day to help me. But also, I almost want you to think about it as like turning that switch on every day, right? It's like you literally have to turn that switch on every day to tell yourself, no matter if people are supporting me or not, no matter if people are being negative about what I'm doing or not, I'm not going to let that affect me. So it's almost like, in your house every day, like, if you're going to turn your light switch on, right? And it just, where those switches are in your house. And over time, that just becomes, it's just, you don't even have to think about it. Right. And so I think every single day,
you know where the switches are. Sometimes
Exactly.
I love that, Tristan, because sometimes it's dark and you can't see, but you know where to reach. Oh my good, Tristan, go in a little bit on that. This is hot right there. Go, you
Yeah,
know where to reach. Go ahead, Tristan.
exactly. And so, for me, I've had to, I write things on my mirror, make sure that I'm like seeing it every single day, like literally seeing my goals, seeing, what it is I want to do. And that's kind of my light switch, right? That I'm seeing every day and making that mental note every single day that I'm not going to let other people's opinions of what I'm doing stop me. And that's the same thing about your past as well, right? I mean, I think a lot of us can relate. I think a lot of people have gone through some experiences, maybe some, traumatic things. My childhood was not the easiest thing. And one thing I learned from your trainings is you have to let that stuff go, right? And you have to make like that mental switch every day. You can't make those excuses to say, I came from this, or, this is what happens in my family. You have to make that switch every day to not let that stop you. And over
Mm.
time, it's going to get easier and easier and easier for you. And it's just like, if those of you who are like athletes like me, when I was training for like working out or running, right? And you go through that pain. You have to literally force yourself to go through that training. But over time, you start conditioning your body to where it gets easier and easier for you, and it just becomes a habit.
Wow. Listen, I'm telling you what, I was thinking about running the course. And then I said, I'm not going to just run the course here with Tristan today. I'm going to go in a little deeper. I'm going to hit some buttons right now
Mhm.
because we get ready to tear down some walls. I want everybody to watch it. Tristan don't know what I'm going to talk about, but she's told me some stories. See, Tristan and I have something in common. We're multiracial, both of us. You see, we both have black, white. I've got Indian. I'm sure Tristan
Yes.
probably has some Indians, right? We've got black, white, Indian. Her father, is, you would see him as a black African American man, right? Which would
Yes.
you would say, okay, that's a black African American man. If you see Tristan's mother, you would know for sure that is a white Caucasian woman. You would know for sure that's a white Caucasian woman. And then your beautiful mom and dad, spectacular people, they had how many children?
6. So I'm the youngest of 6.
So Tristan's the baby of 6 of these beautiful, blended, unbelievable, great-hearted people. Now, y'all can see Tristan here, one of the most beautiful spirits I've ever personally met, period. Now, Tristan, you told me a story one time about growing up and there was a neighbor that was harassing you. Would you share a little bit of that story so people can feel what some people have went through?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be really raw with you here.
Raw.
Growing up, I'm from a small town in Missouri, and my family, I didn't see anybody that really looked like me growing up, and we definitely had to overcome some of those challenges. But with that story, we had a neighbor that lived across the street from us, and he did not like um, my family because of our race. And so, he would make comments, he would, and at that time, I think I was probably about 9 years old. And I can remember him, even as a little kid, if I'm outside playing in the front yard, I can remember him, saying things to me and my siblings. And it got to the point where we couldn't even play outside in the front yard anymore. And it really, honestly, it got so bad that we ended up moving. Across town, and just to get away from him, because it just became unbearable for my family. Like, we didn't feel safe in our own house with that neighbor there.
You told me something one time, like following you guys or something. You were riding bikes. What was
Yeah,
that?
my sister and I were riding our bikes in our neighborhood, and that's something that my family, we always were riding our bikes around our neighborhood, around a block, and I just felt a car that was very close to us. We kind of look, and it was him, and so he was just trailing us with his car for whatever reason, and until we got to our house, and just following us, and we were just it was just my sister and I were just little kids. Um, yeah.
See, I want everybody to get this. The reason I brought that point up, and Tristan's helping me with the point I want to make. I talk about 0 to 7 years of age, and
Mhm.
then the little periods after that, that shapes your subconscious mind. I'm sure, Tristan, those feelings of fears or, insecurities or what's wrong with me, that had to
Mhm.
have some kind of impact on you. Would you agree?
It did. It did. I mean, I remember growing up and, really not seeing anybody that really looked like me, um, in school and everything. And, that was challenging. That was hard. And I didn't always like feeling different. I didn't always like people judging me because of my hair, because of the race of, the color of my skin. So that was definitely hard.
See, and that's why we've had a lot that we relate to, because
Mhm.
Tristan and I, on our black side of our families, we kind of treat it one way. And then on the white side of our families, we're kind of treated one way. And it's kind of like you feel pulled, huh, Tristan?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You feel pulled. So when ladies and gentlemen, when you see this stuff going on in the world and you're wondering why people feel certain ways about racial disparity and all this inequality, there's a reason that people feel that way. What I'm saying is, let's bring that pain to the platform. That's why I created this J Noland coaching platform. Bring that pain. How do you feel about that, Tristan?
I mean, I love that. I mean, I honestly, that pain, that's what helped inspire my sister and I to write this book, right? Because, our book is all about um, really celebrating your uniqueness. And so for a long time, you're as I think you can probably understand, like, as somebody who's biracial, like sometimes you're searching for your identity, right? You're searching for, who do you connect with? What do you identify with? And, for us, sometimes like I feel like it took us a while to celebrate, to embrace those differences about us, to embrace, that what was unique about us. And but from those struggles, from that pain is really what helped us to birth this book, and where we want all kids, not kids that just look like me, but kids that, no matter what it is, no matter what their race, no matter what their ability is, we wanted all kids to be able to, um, feel celebrated, see themselves reflected somehow.
Yeah, I think you've even got a story about someone that's handicapped, right?
Yes,
That
yes. So we have kids in
explain
in,
that.
in
Just real quick
wheelchairs.
as we wrap up here. Talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, we have kids. Like I said, my sister has, a background. She's worked with all kinds of kids, and um, my mom actually worked with all kinds of kids as well. And so as I kind of reflect on my very first experience with somebody who had cerebral palsy, and that's something I will never forget, because my mom, one of her best friends, had a daughter with cerebral palsy, and my mom used to sometimes watch her, when her friend needed her to. And I remember having questions. I remember looking at her and not fully understanding what was going on. And she was in a wheelchair, she couldn't move. And I remember just staring at her. My mom had to actually sit down and talk to me and explain to me that she's just like me. Even though she can't move, even though she was in this wheelchair, that she was just like me, she's a person like me. And that stuck with me, to this day. And so, yeah, in our book, we have kids that are in a wheelchair, that have a prosthetic limb, kids in the hospital, kids without any hair. Like, we just have kids from, all kinds of backgrounds, kids with Down syndrome, just because we want to present differences as normal. And I know that, like kids, like how I was, we have questions, right? When you see people who are different, sometimes you have questions. So we wanted our book to be able to create those healthy conversations at home. And so that way, you can start having those conversations with your children at home about, different people. And so not only are they getting an opportunity to celebrate, who they are, but they're also getting an opportunity to celebrate the differences in other people as well.
That's what's gonna make this world work better. Y'all want
Mhm.
to talk about a difference? You gotta have the tools. See, that's why I'm doing a training this Saturday, December the 12th. It's called Confidence Base Camp. And these tools that you need to celebrate you. When are we gonna get you to embrace you? That's why I love Tristan's book. And that's why your kids need to get that book. Not 4 or 5. Why don't you get 10 or 12? Get 20 of those books. And every time you meet a kid, give them the gift that Tristan's put together with her book to be able to have those kids go, I embrace this. You know, we had on our show earlier with Michelle Wilson. She's talking about her book. And then and then Tristan and his book. Do you know that Kai got his books, Tristan, you know, and he said, Daddy, I love what's different about me. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what's different about you, son? Right? And you know what? I want to thank you, Tristan. I want to thank you. Because
that means a lot to me.
My son is, you know, he damaged his tooth a year or two ago. And one of his teeth stopped growing. And his other teeth are growing. And so I said, what do you embrace is different about you? He pointed at his short tooth. And then he pulled his sleeve up. You know, he hit a grill and got a burn on his arm. And so there's a scar there that's healing. And then he went and he burned that. I said, do you embrace that? You love that? He goes, yeah, Dad. Tristan, that's because of people. Like when Michelle said that, and then you said that, and you being a part of our life like this. Do you guys know what this means? Tristan, thank you. Because for my son today, it happened. How many of y'all got children out there that's got something going on? How many of us were picked on growing up? Thank you, Tristan. Give us some parting words. You got me tore up over here.
Yeah, I mean that means everything to me. This the support that we're receiving, and I want this to be encouraging to everyone, you know, out there that maybe you're not wanting to write a book, but there's something inside of you. There's a voice that you have, and people need to hear it. You may not think, you know, what you have to say is important, but somebody needs to hear what you have to say. And so, you know, my parting words are, you know, get to trainings, get to this upcoming training on this Saturday, and, you know, be given these tools to help unlock your voice, because we desperately need your voice here in this world. Your voice is going to help somebody. It's going to make a difference for somebody. And so don't let other people's opinions, don't let your past define you. Find out these tools that help me to unlock my voice, because now that my voice is unlocked, you're not going to hear me be silent. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep growing in this, and I'm going to keep going. And so I encourage you to, you know, come along beside me and continue to grow. And let's continue to make a difference here in our world.
Woo! I'm coming back, man. I'm coming back. Tore up. I mean, hey, listen. I don't even want to apologize, because that's what this platform is about. It's about being real. It's about bringing that pain. It's about bringing that joy. It's about bringing these celebrations. You see, this Saturday, December the 12th, from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, California time, to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to celebrate. We're going to get in the trench. I'm telling you, it's going to literally be life-changing, and it's going to be so fun. We're going to have so much fun getting you these tools. You're going to need these tools. We got to deal with what happened to you from 0 to 7 that shaped your subconscious mind, and then started piling on as you got 8 and 9. And like Tristan riding her bike down the street, and then having a racist sit right up behind her to try to bully and intimidate her and her beautiful sister. By the way, shout out to Lacey Howard on here, powerhouse woman. Anybody that knows Lacey that's been helping do what she's doing with these books and this platform with Tristan, y'all give Lacey some big love, because she's making a big difference. And listen, that's what this is going to be about. Now, how do you get into training? It's normally $395, which you will see sold after the conference. When we have this recorded, people will have to pay $395 to get it. You'll see it go out in the public. It's going to be recorded. It will be post-production on it. There will be different insights on the post-production, but it will be $395. Now, to get the training, all you got to do is buy my book, 365 Quotes to Make You Better. right there on Amazon. Just go over and get 365 quotes to make you better. You buy your copy of the book. You go to jnolandcoaching.net, jnolandcoaching.net. Click on events, which you can get the book right there as well. You can get the link to Amazon. And your order number from Amazon gets you free interest into this $395 training. On top of that, it gets you 365 confidential, which saves you almost $1,200. I give you year access for free. I'm doing a big wave this month to get folks into 365 confidential so they'll have these tools going into 2021. So while everybody else is freaking out, guess what? We're breaking out. While everybody else is freaking out, guess what? We're breaking out. And that's what we did here today with this powerhouse woman, Tristan Towns. You done blessed everybody. You got everybody tore up, I bet you. I want y'all to share it, share it, share it. I want y'all to give Tristan some big love. And Tristan, we love you with all we got. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. Keep changing lives. You are that sunlight that people need in this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, everybody. That's our show. Until the next one, hey, go get that confidence. See you soon.